We're going to hit the pause button on this testimony and bring in National Trial Attorney Michael Jaafar. Michael, we're getting a lot from Dr. Clark. He seems to be speaking in a way that can be very understandable to the jury. And he's speaking right now about the medication, which is an important part of this. March of 2024, this is the time period that we're talking about. This is when the killing happened. Zoloft, Lexapro, your thoughts on what we're hearing from this psychiatry expert?
This testimony is exactly what I would expect it to be. It's straight out of central casting. He's doing an excellent job. The timeline fits. This is a Mississippi jury, though. I think that these juries, especially in the South, they've just nullified the law on the legal, on the defense of not guilty by reason of insanity. I think that at the end of the day, they're going to rule. They're going to convict her normally, which I think would be a mistake, especially with the testimony here. I mean, she still has a relationship with the father that she shot, the stepfather that she shot, right? He still speaks to her every day. So clearly, if anyone is eligible for a not reason by guilty of insanity defense, this would be the person. The testimony that he's giving is very, very, very compelling to an open mind and an open ear, which I don't think jurors have anymore for this defense, which I think is wrong. They've nullified the law. But at the end of the day, this testimony and the way that he has gone through it, I don't care if he didn't spend 10 million years with this person. He clearly has enough bandwidth to do it. He clearly had enough insight to do it. He clearly had enough, time with her and investigation into the underlying facts to be able to render his opinion. So it's sad, and as I hear it, it's very, very, it's what you would expect to hear. And there's a lot of troubled people, and these psychotropic drugs do in fact affect people, and they manifest differently. And again, this was a 14-year-old kid on Zoloft and Lexapro when she did this, right? Again, this is not a well-adjusted, normal person that is putting chemicals in her body that are going to have her act even more normal. She cut it off cold turkey, he said, which we know have many negative ramifications and downstream ramifications and behavioral ramifications. So, it's sad. But at this point, I just don't think this jury's going to hear it, even though I can sympathize with this.
Absolutely. And I do believe that there are open-minded juries. We see it all the time here on Court TV. Guilty, not guilty, mistrials. To your point, though, we rarely see not guilty by reason of insanity, sometimes because the defense doesn't make it all the way to a trial. It's pleaded out, or it just isn't successful. Sometimes these defenses can't find experts for it. But here we are seeing this doctor in a very unique case for a very young girl. Let's get in a break, and Michael, keep standing by. All right, we're hitting the pause button because we've reached the top of the hour. But Dr. Clark, this testimony is helping us get into the mind of Carly Gregg. Let's bring back in attorney Michael Jaafar. Michael, with what you've seen so far, should Carly Gregg take the stand at the end of her defense case?
I don't think she should take the stand. She won't gain anything. I mean, Dr. Gregg was the doctor that's testifying right now absolutely did the best possible job in her defense. That she could never do a better job than him, right? He said she was suicidal. And that last piece that really swayed, he had already swayed me in her favor. And then when he said that her biological father also was treated for bipolar disorder, to me, you can't do better than that. Again, I'm not in that courtroom, but if I was and I was looking at the jurors, they would probably all be doing this right now, just not listening to anything he's saying. That's just my jaded way of looking at this defense. But at the end of the day, I think he did a fantastic job. I do not think she should take the stand. She's still a kid. I mean, she has no prior record. If she takes the stand, we already know what happened. We know that she squeezed the trigger. She's on camera, right, plotting it. Maybe if she takes the stand and she cries, maybe she would humanize herself for the jurors. They would be reminded that this is in fact a kid. I think I've just convinced myself that what I said was wrong. Maybe she should take the stand, because at the end of the day, what's the worst that could happen? She cries and she melts down and she's in a puddle of tears. I want these jurors to understand they're ruling on the guilt or innocence of a kid, and not even the innocence, regular guilt or guilt but not guilty by reason of insanity. And she is a kid, and one of the victims, her stepfather, is in the courtroom testifying in her favor. So maybe perhaps she should, if I was her attorney and I like what I saw in my private meetings with her, I might want to put her on the stand.
You're exemplifying just how hard of a decision this is for this defense. Michael Jaafar, thank you.